Welcome to the Bettis Musgrove Show, the podcast where personal injury legal expertise meets real-world advice to empower and protect you. Join us as we delve into the critical aspects of personal injury cases, break down legal jargon into actionable insights, and share essential safety tips to help you navigate life's unexpected moments. And now, here are your hosts, Spenser Bettis and Ben Musgrove.
All right, welcome to Season 2, Episode number 6 of the Bettis Musgrove Show. As always, I'm Ben Musgrove. This is my law partner, Spenser Bettis. We own and operate a boutique personal injury law firm here in Cumming, Georgia. And we're continuing on our podcast here, talking about community, bringing in people from the community, nonprofits, local business owners, different things like that, just to try to see what's going on out there and inform the general public about what the world has to offer. Today, we are honored to be joined by Mr. Drew Garrison. Drew, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us where you come from, that type of thing, what you do for a living.
I'm Drew Garrison. I'm an insurance agent in Canton. I grew up in Canton area. My family's been there my whole life. Got a wife, Lindsay, and my son, Connor. I'm a fourth-generation insurance agent. My great-grandfather originally started the agency back in the mid-'60s. And then when he passed away, my grandfather took over, and then my dad in the mid-'80s. And then Dad retired about 2008, and I had worked for him for a little while before he retired and got out, and I kind of went a different direction at that time. I always enjoyed insurance because I enjoy helping people out. Dad, that was one of their main things, was just helping people out, trying to, give them the best service they can.
Right.
So that's kind of the way I've started here in my agency, is just trying to help people out, because a lot of people get left out. When an agency grows and gets bigger,
sure,
that they just don't get the customer service that they're a company to. So that's kind of where I'm at with that.
Yeah, and we see the same thing in the legal world. I mean, the bigger the firm, oftentimes clients become more of just a number than a person. Something we pride ourselves on, trying to keep everybody, personalized, and having our cell phone numbers to get in touch with us if you need. So I get that. The insurance agency, you said fourth generation.
Yes. Like I said, my great grandfather, he was originally a poultry farmer, and it went great for many years. But then around the mid-'60s, a big poultry company come in and just kind of knocked all those little guys out.
Yep.
So he had always been, a big part of the community. And so he just decided to get in the insurance business, and he started Garrison Insurance Agency, like I said, in the mid-'60s, and he ran it till 74. My grandfather worked with him there for many years, and then he took it over until about 1985, when my dad took the agency over and ran it until 2008. And they were Cotton States agents, so they did a lot of, helped a lot with farmers and stuff like that. So
some people might argue today we need more poultry farmers than we do insurance agents. Eggs costing $15.
That's it. That's what's crazy, is he did a lot for the community back then and stuff.
Yeah.
He was always one to be trusted. I've been over different jobs. I've talked to people in the community that knew him. He was just a good man. Used to do deals off a handshake, and you just don't have that much handshake deals anymore. And it was hard to trust people.
It keeps us lawyers in business. We don't have a handshake.
Exactly.
Or do have a handshake deal.
Yeah. So, that's just the way our family's always been. We've always wanted, to help people out and, be able to be trusted, because you know how it is. You see these lawyers that they're just out there to make a buck, and
not us, no.
And don't really care about helping the customer out. And I'm the type of person that I give people my cell phone number. I say, if you have any issues, give me a call.
Right.
That's just the way I am. I don't care if it's 2:00 in the morning, your house gets hit by a tree. You call me, I'm going to come out there and make sure everything's good and you're taken care of.
Yeah. You said your grandfather and great-grandfather were Cotton State agents. Are you guys independent now, or do y'all have
I'm independent. When my dad retired in 2008, he was a Cotton States agent.
Okay.
And then when I got back into insurance 3 years ago, I was a farmer's agent, and then I went independent about a year and a half ago.
Okay. Do you write for pretty much anybody?
I got a couple of carriers I don't ride with right now. You know how it is with the market in Georgia. It's tough.
Sure.
And a lot of carriers are kind of put appointments on hold right now till they kind of see how this year's starting off and everything. So I'm hoping to get a few more as the year goes on. But what I got right now has been really beneficial to me.
Well, according to our governor, you're about to be in great shape. So we'll see what happens.
Yes, we'll see how that's going to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so you write for a bunch of different companies. You write policies for them. What's the benefit of being able to do that? Look at multiple companies, multiple policies, as opposed to someone who just writes for one one company?
I feel like it gives me the opportunity to go out there and search different options instead of when you're with just one company, you're kind of stuck with just that one option. And if it's not in their appetite, you're just like, I'm sorry, I'll have to, just pass.
Yeah.
But with being independent, it gives me more options and more carriers to go to, because every carrier's got different appetite.
Yeah.
Some of them want certain customers, others want certain risks. So it just gives me more options to get more customers.
You can price shop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I know we just got done doing some new life insurance. My wife and I may or may not occasionally put a nicotine pouch in my lip. I can't confirm or deny. And there were different life insurance companies that would take me versus other ones that wouldn't because of that. So
that's right. And a lot of them now, because of, I guess, smoking is not as big as it used to be back in the day. Because my dad was writing life insurance policy. If you even touch a cigarette, you're going to be a higher risk. But now they'll ask if you smoke a cigar every once in a while, and it doesn't really affect your rate like it used to back in the day, because it's more widespread of people doing that. And especially the, dipping and things of that nature, they're not quite as hard on it as they used to be.
Yeah. I think the tobacco portion is probably more important to them than the nicotine portion, it seems like, anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah. But, well, part of the reason we want to have you on is to discuss about trends you're seeing in the insurance industry. One thing I want to touch on, I'll let you tell a few of yours as well, but home insurance and specifically roof claims. What are you seeing with that?
Roof claims are just so tough, because I think you get a lot of people that, after like the hailstorm last night, it wasn't a lot. It was like some soft snow type hail stuff.
Right.
So I don't think it's really going to affect the roofs, but as soon as you hear hail, you got every roofer in a 3-mile radius coming out there knocking on doors trying to get, roof claims. And that's been the hardest thing for Georgia, is the roof claims. And granted, we've had some legitimate storms. Helene came through, 6 months ago. It tore a lot of South Georgia apart, and that will affect it. But just in the prior years, I think too much of excessive roof claims that were not necessary has really caused for the rates to go up here in the state.
Do you see clients getting denied roof claims?
I've, knock on wood, I've not had any roof claims in a good while. So, but for the most part, none of them got denied. You just kind of, best thing to do is me as an insurance agent is to keep in contact with the customer, keep in contact with the carrier. If they've got any questions, making sure the adjusters keeping in touch with the customer, making sure they're, got any questions on anything. But I think a lot of that is entailed into, just these guys coming by, and when there is a slight storm, want to file a claim with your insurance. And you just got to be really picky, because I had one client that they filed a claim and didn't call me prior to, and they come out there and it was just a small leak, no big deal. Well, it was lower than their deductible, so it just zeroed out as a claim. But these claims now, if you call in for something and it just zeroes out, that claim still going to be on your record. So people just got to watch filing claims and not doing it, just because you got a little small leak. It's got to be something catastrophic before you really need to file something.
That's a personal story we're dealing with. Is we built our house 7 years ago and would not recommend the company that built it, because they clearly installed a bunch of things wrong, but they clearly installed our roof wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Every time we get heavy wind, I'll have a slab of shingles that fall off from a different portion of the roof. And I call a buddy of mine that does roofing. He comes out and tacks them back up. Don't ever have enough to get a new roof.
Mm-hmm.
But now I've paid him 4 times, $500 every time to come out and fix the roof. And it's like, eventually, like, I know it's bad install, but I need a new roof, and I don't want to pay $20,000 for a new roof.
No, because it can vary from 15 to 30, depending on what size your house is.
Yeah.
The cost of shingles have gone up as well, along with materials in general to put a house back together.
Yep.
So that's a lot of factors are factoring in now on the rates going up.
When I was a baby lawyer, the firm I was with, we're part of the Atlas shingle class action stuff that was going on, and they created some really crappy shingles there for a while that they put all over Georgia. I mean, so many houses had them and had to get ripped off and new roofs put in. I don't know who paid for it. I guess Atlas paid for it eventually, but that's just the bad thing of, just people come out there and just saying, hey, we can get you a new roof, and just throwing it on there, not really, taking the time to take care of a customer and just trying to get money out of them. Yep.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of, I guess, a similar thing with car insurance policies, because nowadays you're seeing, the state minimum coverage is 25,000. And a lot of times with these new cars, that's not gonna replace it.
No.
Get you a new bumper, maybe.
Yeah.
That's what,
Especially with a Tesla, it's probably way.
that's with the state limits. I feel like Georgia's going to have to make some changes, because you can sell it all day, but you're selling a disservice to the customer, because your average used car now is right at $25,000. That's a basic car.
Yep.
So you're talking all these, especially these expensive trucks costing $70,000, $80,000. You got state limits that hit one of these, you're toast.
Yeah. Well, I'm here if you want to carry that torch and encourage the state to increase limits. We will support you in that endeavor.
Well, I think it runs into, and what's sad is there's some people that's all they can afford.
Yeah.
And there's certain situations for that. But to me, as an agent, I want to give my customer the best policy I can give them. I want them to be taken care of if there is ever an issue. I never want them to file a claim, but if they do file a claim, they're not worried. Well, do I have enough coverage? Is this going to cover this or that? They're adequately covered for that claim.
On the car side, do you have a policy number that you recommend?
I usually don't ride any lower than 100, 300. That's just what I feel comfortable at, and that's almost, with certain vehicles, not enough.
I mean, property
these expensive
damage.
sport cars and stuff, if you hit one of those, it's over $100,000 and plus. So that's kind of where the minimum I start at.
Yep.
That's just where I feel comfortable that a customer can, if they do have a claim, they're covered.
Yep.
Yeah. And one thing I can't stress enough to folks too is the coverage. So uninsured, underinsured coverage, that is huge.
And don't do reduced by. It's got to be an added on.
That's exactly right.
Yes. Don't do reduced by, do the added on. That's touches almost every case we deal with.
Yeah.
And it's huge. And people, that don't have that can be left holding the bag sometimes.
I actually had a couple, they contact me. It's been a few months. They had 2 brand new vehicles, and they wrote it. I can't remember who the carrier was, but they had state minimum limits, no uninsured motorists, and they were both. They still had loans on them. So I told him, I said, "You're not covered very well," and I gave him the new rates, and it wasn't terrible, but he's like, "Well, we'll just have to think about it." And I'm just like, "You're not covered the way you should be covered, because you have an accident or somebody hits you that's not insured, you have no coverage for that."
Well, and the pitch I give people too is, okay, sure. And my friends would say this all the time. Why would I carry more than the state minimum? If somebody hits me, my insurance company, or if I hit somebody, my insurance company pays them the $25. They get a release that says they can't sue me anymore. And I'm like, yeah, they get a release that they can't sue you anymore. But then they go file on their claim. Their company is going to come sue you because they want their money back.
Yep.
And people don't get that. So if you got $25,000, you're going to get sued.
Oh yeah.
You got $100,000, less of a chance of getting sued. You got $250,000, it's even better chance that you don't get sued. So I cannot stress it enough. Get your policy, protect your assets, get your policies up.
You're exactly right. And that's another reason this rates have gone up. There's a lot more people driving uninsured.
We heard it's 1 out of 4 drivers.
It's insane. And then also the ones that are underinsured that don't have enough coverage, because things are tight and they just get by what they have to drive every day to work, but it's still not what they need.
We had a conversation with somebody literally last Friday talking about if go into a recession, God forbid. First things that go, landscaping, lawn care, that type of thing, veterinary care for your animals, and insurance. It's just things that people don't have to have immediately if things get tight and they drop them.
Oh yeah, and it's not what they need to do, because you've got to have that car insurance. And with most counties, you have to have insurance before you register your vehicle. So if you don't have that, which you get some people that'll just get it and get their vehicle registered and cancel it, but then
or pay by month insurance and it lapses
exactly, and then they don't have it anymore. So that's a huge thing that's hurting the rates, is people just driving without insurance or not enough insurance.
Yeah,
not personal injury lawyers. I stand by that.
Exactly. Well, what do you think builds great relationships for you with your clients? What do you do to go above?
Just take care of them. When I first talk to people, they want somebody when they call.
Yeah.
They get a person.
Yeah.
On the phone, and they're going to respond quickly. I get people, they'll text me, say, "Hey, I need to know this." I'm like, "Well, I'll get on an ASAP." They're like, "Well, you don't have to do that. I know you're busy, but I try to do that the best I can because that gives them the best customer interaction, that if there is an issue, they know that I'm going to answer the phone, answer the email, respond fairly quickly.
Yep.
And, then they know they're taken care of.
Even if you give them a response that says, I don't know.
Exactly.
They'd rather get that than crickets, So I forgot to ask you this in the beginning. You said you guys are located in Canton.
Yep.
Are you in downtown Canton? Where are you guys
No,
located?
I'm just about 3 miles east of Canton Marketplace.
Okay. Yeah. Not too far from here.
In the Buffington
In the
community,
Buffington
what I
community,
call it.
that's where I grew up, and I'm actually my office is across the street from where I live.
Okay.
So I drive 3 minutes, maybe 3 minutes to work every day. So
That's awesome.
So it's neat. I like being there in my community. Granted, it's grown and don't know as many people as I used to, but with my family, the way they treated people in the insurance business, I've got a lot of people now that call me, hey, your dad had me insured, or hey, your grandpa had me insured. And they just knew that they would take care of them. And that's the way I do it, is I'm going to take care of you. Like I said, you can call me anytime. I'm going to answer the phone and give you an answer. I'm going to help you out the best way I can.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, fun fact, Drew's father-in-law is the minister that married my wife and I. So
Really? I didn't know that coming. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then Spenser actually worked with him for a little bit.
I did. Yeah. I'd spent a few summers in college working with him. He's a plumber. He's retired from plumbing now, maybe?
No, he's
back at it.
He's still going at it because I worked with him for a little bit, and he's still, for 58 years old, he'll work harder than any 20 or 30-year-old. I mean, he's just the way he is. So, but he can be a tough guy to work for sometimes.
He was not bad. I was digging some ditches in the hot summer sun, and I
that's hard work.
Definitely helped me with my push to go to law school eventually.
I'd love to know what's harder, plumbing or leading a church. I bet you the church wins.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He actually was the minister of our church for years. Best one we ever had, in my opinion.
There you go.
But yeah. So I mean, when you have a client call you after an accident, if they do, what do you do? What do you tell?
When they call me, I have them. I'm like, get your reports and everything together. I'll have them, call the carrier, say, hey, call the carrier, go and file your claim. Call me and let me know how everything went. Because I want to know, a lot of carriers now, like, they don't really want you calling the agent to deal with the claim. They want you going just to their claims department directly.
Yeah.
I would have liked to know, hey, I've been in an accident. Here's what happened. I filed a police report. We're getting this taken care of. The car's being towed here. Just so I got an idea and I'm not kind of blindsided by somebody filing a claim and not knowing about it. So I want them to call me and say, hey, I've been in an accident. Here's what happened. It don't matter if it's, somebody else hits you and their insurance carrier is taking care of it, or you hit somebody and our carrier is taking care of it. I want to know what's happened, what's going on, so that if you're not getting, the adequate help from their carrier, I can call and say, hey, listen, your client hit mine. I need you to take care of this. You're dragging your feet.
Yep. And you may already do this, but if I could offer one piece of advice or ask you to do something, if somebody calls you and tells you they've been in a wreck, go ahead and notify corporate, because they may not go on the claims line or whatever. And there are some companies, travelers specifically, that if you don't notify them you've been in a wreck within so much time, they'll just completely void the policy.
That's true. Yeah. So I mean, immediately they have them call. I had a lady, she got ruined back in November.
Yep.
And I literally only had them. They were a new customer, so maybe I'd had them a month.
Mm-hmm.
And she called me, and it was the day after, and she had the accident. And I said, hey, did you get the police report, all their insurance information? She said, yes. The girl was very helpful. She said, I've actually already gotten a call from the adjuster already. So I was very surprised. It was very quick.
Yep.
And I said, okay, well, if you need help getting, a body shop, I've got ones that I recommend. Yep. And, if you need any other help, I said, call me and keep me up to date on what's going on. I'll check in with you. So everything's gone good so far. The carrier has been really good to work with. The car has been repaired back to the customers. So they're very happy with the way the claims process went. And that's what you want. You always want that process as easy as it can be.
Yeah.
Because when it drags out or the other, carrier's not taking care of them, then you've got to get involved, and it just makes things so much harder to have to get, deal with all that mess.
I got to follow up on that. But
all right.
First, so we had one a couple of years ago. Actually, before Spenser and I got together, I had one that, we normally don't get hired on the claim until several months after it's already happened, where it's gotten too complicated. People need help, so they'll call us. Well, these people had a wreck, and they had already received the policy limits from the bodily injury coverage. So now they needed their UM. We got involved, sent a letter to the UM company. They immediately responded, sorry, it's been too long. You guys didn't notify us of the wreck. policies voided. And thank God their agent, we called him because they said they'd called him right after the wreck. And he signed an affidavit saying, yes, they notified me of the collision. We didn't think we needed the coverage at the time, but I was notified. This insurance company was put on notice. So we were able to get the but man, it was touch and go there for a minute.
Oh yeah. You always want to, anytime you have any type of accident, you always want to take care of it.
Yep.
ASAP. I got a guy that he's got a boat. He called me the other day. He was up Lanier and somebody had backed into his trailer when it was sitting there in the loading area. Didn't know what happened to it. And I said, what do you want to do? He goes, well, let me get some prices on it. I said, well, before you want to file a claim, I said, check with some people how much it costs going to fix, because you don't want to file a claim if it's going to be right there at your deductible.
Sure.
I know it stinks to pay out of pocket, but it's rather do that than file a claim and then, your rates are going to go up. So
I said I had a follow up on that. Now I cannot remember what it was. What were we talking about when I said that? Oh, well, it'll come back to me in a minute.
Notifying your agent, claims, something along those lines.
Oh, well. Forget it. It wasn't important, clearly.
Yeah, well, I have a case where the same issue is going to come up. They've already kind of their carriers already said you didn't notify us. And my clients had not talked to the agent.
Yeah.
Immediately after. So I think we're about to have that same battle.
Yeah. Well, go to war, see what happens.
Yeah. Well, anything you'd like to tell us? Anything you're seeing an insurance agent you'd like people in the insurance world you'd like people to know, or?
Just kind of, just keep in touch through your agent. Always, if there's a claim or you ever have an issue, just call them first before, calling to file a claim directly, because there's always ways that, you can get somebody to come look at a small leak and get a price and call an insurance company and get the adjuster out there. And then you're having to, go through all that mess of the adjuster. So just always call your agent for any issue, because that's what we're here for.
Yep.
We're here to take care of you. And there's a lot of people that, deal with these companies direct. They don't have an agent. They get a cheaper price from them directly instead of going through the agent. And I feel like you're not getting as much the customer service portion because you're having to wait on hold. Yeah. You're getting a person that's not there, not locally. So which granted locally doesn't matter, because I've got clients that are, South Jordan, place like that, but they know they got a question. They call me, I'll answer it. We'll do whatever I can to help them out.
Well, and we're real big on advocacy, and I think when you have that agent relationship, you've got an advocate there for you to push them. No, you guys are going to cover this claim.
That's it.
Whatever the case may be. Same with the legal work. I mean, whether it's you can go to wills.com and get a will drafted, or you can go.
Don't do that.
Yeah, you can go see an attorney, and they have that relationship. Maybe it's a little bit more expensive, but you have somebody to talk to, bounce ideas off of, understand it a little better. So, I think having that agency relationship in any profession is very important.
Oh, 100%. That's just, people just don't get that anymore. And there's some people that don't really care about having that person interaction. That's fine. But there's still people that do care, like, hey, I've got an issue, especially older folks. I've got a couple that I'm working with right now. The lady, when she brought me her stuff, she said, I want to be able to, if I call, I talk to you or someone, she said, I don't expect a response email wise, within 30 minutes. She said, it's just something by the end of the day, just answer my question. That's all people want, is just a response. And you get a lot of guys that, I've had people say, I haven't, I called 2 days ago and I hadn't heard from anybody, or I sent an email, they're not responding. And you can get busy, but you always got to remember your customers. So if you don't have your customers, you don't have a business.
Yeah. How often do you recommend that someone shop insurance policies with other companies?
Some people, it just depends. Like every time a renewal comes up from one of my customers, I at least try to shop around to see if it's within $30 or $40. I'm like, it's not worth you moving for that.
Right.
But most of the time I recommend people shopping every 5 to 6 years. Just kind of gives you more options, because certain carriers are willing to take certain risk and others are just kind of not wanting it. So you just kind of shop around and kind of see where you're at. And it's just tough for now with like team drivers.
Yeah.
It's just, people all the time are like, hey, I need you to run a quote. And they're like, why is this so high? I'm like, it's just the way the world is.
Your kid can't drive.
Exactly. Kids can't drive. And it's just, there's so many more distractions with phones, and it just puts everybody such a higher risk.
We finished a case Wednesday, and this guy that we were representing had been with this certain insurance company for 40 plus years. And I didn't say anything to him about it, but the whole time in my mind, I'm thinking, you're probably getting ripped off. You should have shopped that around and moved around. 40 years is a long time.
And there's a lot of people that they're just so comfortable with their agent.
Yep.
That price is really not,
he said
not
that.
an issue to him.
Yep. He's like, it's about the relationship. I've been with this agent for this entire length of time. I don't want to leave it.
And that, I feel like that's looks good on that agent because he's taking care of that customer for 40 years. Or if it's the agent retired and his son or somebody else took over, they're still doing the same thing that, he's been doing for 40 years.
That was the biggest part. One of our arguments in the mediations, he's been with you guys for 45 years and now he needs you because of a hit and run accident. I was like, now he needs you and you're not wanting to pay him out. And then we had to fight on that. I mean, it was bad, but got him paid.
And that's what's sad on that side, that you got somebody that's been loyal to a company for that long and the same carrier, and then something happens. They might not ever had a claim in those 40 years.
Yep.
When they do have one, you're not sitting there taking care of them, and they kind of feel like they've been pushed to the side. Yeah.
Oh, with UM claims especially. So people are like, I'm making a claim with my own insurance for this insurance I paid for, and they're fighting me on it. And sometimes it's just they're in the business of making money, so they do that.
That's a business. Yeah,
I don't fault them for that.
Sure.
But I can't tell you how many times people are like, I'm changing insurance companies.
Yeah. I mean, I get that. People like, I had a claim and thought it was going to be taken care of and they didn't. So he said, I moved,
Yeah. I don't know, maybe it helps, and I doubt it. They're so big, they don't feel one person moving, but I get the principal response there that you just want to stick it to them a little bit.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. All right, let's move into the quick fire.
I'm going quick fire?
Yeah.
All
Unless
right.
you got anything else.
No, let's do it. We always find more when we get into the quick fire.
Yeah. I got to change one here to be up with the times, but
I'm going to jump in on something you don't even have on here.
Please do.
So happy Masters Friday to everybody. We were talking about it a little bit before we got started. I want to know who your pick is now that we've got a couple of rounds under our belt. Who's going to win?
I don't know. I think DeChambeau could win. He's just been, playing really well.
Yep.
And I mean, I like Scotty Scheffler. He's a good golfer too, but I feel like him or DeChambeau could pull it off. Now, if Rose keeps playing like he did yesterday, I don't know if anybody's going to catch him.
When we came in, he was still leading, and DeChambeau and Scheffler are right behind him. So,
okay.
I think Sunday is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
It's going to be. We got a trial Monday, so we're in trial prep mode. I don't know that I'm going to be able to watch it all, but yeah, kind of bummed out.
That's one good thing about the Masters is you never know who's going to win. It might be one of the top rated golfers. It could be a guy that came from the bottom and worked his way up. So
you're never going to know the weather. So Ben and I went Monday to the practice round, and we got there. They said they were going to do an announcement of whether they were going to open the gates at 8 a.m. So we were at a restaurant at like 7:40. And at like 7:53, they're like, gates are open.
Yeah.
Okay. So we got about 3 hours in there. It's beautiful.
Then the rain kicked us out.
Yeah, then we got kicked out, but still.
It's all right. Spencer's going to buy us tickets next year, so we'll get to go back and do it again.
We'll see about that. Well, I don't know. Are you a coffee drinker?
Yes, I am now. I used to not be. I used to hate it. And about the last year, I got to have it every morning, and sometimes I'll drink in the afternoons.
How old are you?
Nearly 40.
Nearly 40, yeah. Yeah, you got to have coffee.
Do you like chain coffee or local coffee shop?
I like my own coffee at home.
Okay.
I can go to Starbucks and it just don't taste the same. We've got this certain coffee me and Lindsay drink, and I love it. If we went out of town, we take the coffee with us, and that's what we make. I'm just that.
What is it?
Oh, gosh. I think it's Charleston.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
The organic.
Yes, the organic coffee, and it's great.
It is delicious.
I'm a coffee shop snob. There's a great coffee shop in Canton, I think called Bazaar Coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.
Lindsay gets coffee from there sometimes, but I'd rather just have an old coffee pot at home and
just drink it black.
No, I got a little cream of
sugar. No, you and Spencer are gonna get along great.
I'm a sucker for lattes. There's no question.
My dad's got big on this mushroom coffee kick here lately. Like not the psychedelic mushroom, but whatever they are.
I saw that on I forget which one of the movie stars advertising. I just didn't know how good that coffee would be.
It smells awful. I mean, it smells awful, but he swears it's good. So maybe I'll try it Easter. We'll see.
What's the last book you read?
It was a life insurance book, Money and Wealth. It's just a good basic book of talking about, how life insurance can benefit you and, cash value life insurance. So it's been a good book to kind of read and get refreshed on and kind of push towards some clients.
You read any nonfiction fiction?
Not really. I mean, I read some business type books, but other than that, that's about it.
Okay.
Voted.
I like it. I tried not to read anything real ever. Like I do too much real reading during the day.
Yeah.
Need Fantasyland when I get home.
Yeah. I started the Jack Carr books recently, at the suggestion of this guy, and I'm in love.
You'll get hooked.
Yeah. dinner with any historical figure ever, who would it be and why?
Oh gosh. I don't know. It'd be neat to have a dinner with Donald Trump. I mean, that'd be pretty nice.
That'd be interesting.
Wouldn't be a bad meal either, I'm sure.
Yeah, sure.
Might be McDonald's, actually. I don't know. That could be wrong.
I did meet Vince Dooley one time, and he was a cool guy. I met him at an event, and it was neat.
So I was about to say, we've had a lot of guys come in here with Georgia logos on. You got the Georgia shirt and the Georgia pullover. I'm impressed.
Yeah. I'm a Dogs fan. My great aunt, she went there, and then my grandpa, he was actually on the agricultural board at UGA.
Okay.
When he was a poultry farmer, he was very involved in poultry all over the state. So he was involved in that at the UGA at ag department and stuff. So we've always been big Georgia fans.
I was going to ask on the historical figure question. Did you ever get to meet your great grandfather that started your insurance?
No,
agency?
I did not. He died in 1974. My dad was, how was Dad then? Probably, I guess about 12 years old.
Okay.
But my dad told me stories of Grandpa, and then just people in the community, because he was on the board at the bank.
Yeah.
In Canton, and a lot of people that were older that dealt with him every day, said he was a great guy and was always, doing good things for people, trying to help everybody out in the community.
Well, there you go. I'm going to change your answer for you. You can go to dinner with your granddad.
That's right. I would, yes, I would, because he was, from just everybody just told me he's a great man, and took care of my great grandmother before he passed and everything. So
that's awesome. If you get to pick your last meal that you're ever going to eat, what are you having and where's it from?
Probably a steak.
Okay.
And I love steak, and it'd probably be from Little Alley Steakhouse.
My man.
I mean, I guess we've been there 2 years in a row for anniversary.
Yep.
And it's, the most unbelievable steak I've ever eaten.
All right, follow up on that then. You're in Little Alley. What sides are you getting with the steak?
It's the sweet potatoes.
Okay.
They've got some marshmallow cream on top of them. I mean, it's awesome.
It drives me insane. My wife and I go to we go to the end of every year. We call it our annual review.
Yeah.
Look at what we did this year, set goals for next year. She always wants to get mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
And Little Alley's not cheap. And I'm like, babe, we're not going to pay $27 for mashed potatoes. We can get those, like get the Brussels sprouts, get cream spinach, get something, I don't know, something we don't eat at the house. But I love Little Alley.
Oh, it's good. I mean,
little truffle butter on top.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
So J. Michael's Prime, which is there in Canton.
And it's good too.
Same steak, the supplier.
Yeah, same meat.
Yeah.
My in-laws, they love J. Michael's.
Yeah.
Anytime they get a chance to go there, they're going.
It's awesome.
We did our firm Christmas dinner there a couple years ago.
And those are good people that run J. Michael's. They're very nice people.
Yep. What we got next? Oh, this is my favorite one. Your favorite vacation spot you've ever visited? Where is it and why?
Oh, gosh.
And I say this because I like to get some tips on where I need to go.
I used to not enjoy the beach.
I hate it.
I just didn't. But now as I've gotten older, I do. I don't mind going out there and sitting and, enjoying the time, enjoying the ocean. That, and then we went to Canada when I was a kid, and it was neat to see something different. It was the mountains and just the way everything was up there is pretty cool.
Yep. You got any kids?
I've got one.
Okay.
He's 20.
20 years old?
20 years old.
Oh, well, that's not a kid. That's a grown man. That's incredible. I was about to ask if your kid enjoys the beach, but he's taking his own kids to the beach at this point.
No, he does. He does. He enjoys it. When he was a kid, he just loved playing in the sand.
Yeah.
And, going in the ocean and playing. So he still enjoys it. He's a 20-year-old.
That's cool. My kids, we pay to go to the beach, and the whole time they want to stay in the pool at the hotel. And I'm like, but we've got a pool at the house. Like,
that's it.
We didn't come down here to swim in the pool.
Mm-hmm.
What's a skill or hobby you picked up recently?
Oh, gosh. No new hobbies. I like to golf. I like to hunt.
Yep.
Those are good ones.
Yeah. Turkey hunter?
Yes, when I get the chance. Yeah. My son, he actually called me. He called me the other night. One of his buddies wanted to take him, and he was trying to find somewhere to go. So I was trying to help him out and do that. I enjoy deer hunting, just kind of get out there, and I enjoy seeing stuff, but sometimes just sitting out there and kind of being away from everything. You kind of catch your thoughts and kind of just enjoy the outdoors.
You probably won't know who this guy is, but we've kind of developed a habit of every single podcast we mention a guy named PJ Gervin. He's a police chief here in.
You had lunch with him.
I just had lunch with him. Yeah, just met him. Yeah.
It's funny talking about turkey hunting. I was with PJ last night at a banquet, and he was telling me that Dawson County has become like a regional magnet for turkey hunters. People coming in from other states to hunt Dawson County.
Dawson, I used to hunt Dawson Forest turkey hunting years ago.
Yeah.
You better be in good shape and you better be ready to walk.
Yeah.
Because
you might ought to carry a sidearm too, because you don't know what you're going to find out there.
No. I got a crazy story on that too. One time one evening I went in and was turkey hunting and did pay attention. I just pulled down one of the old logging roads and set my truck up and walked in, and it got dark. I came out. Well, this guy just saw something come out of nowhere and was yelling at me, and I didn't know where he come from. I'm like, where did you walk down the show? He's like, oh no, I live right here. And he just had like a camper tucked into the woods, and that's where he lived.
That was his house.
That's what his house. So
Seems legal.
Yeah. I guess he thought that he was right there butting up to the WMA land. It wasn't that big of a deal, but I enjoyed just getting out there, and I like getting fishing when I get the chance to do that as well. But usually in the spring, it's turkey hunting or golf.
Yep. What else you got, Spence?
What's one item that you cannot live without?
I'd say now probably coffee. I never thought I would. I never thought I would be that person, because my wife drinks it. She's always drinking. My son even does. He's drinking it since he was probably a kid. But I was like, I'll never drink it. But then once I started, I don't know if I could go in the mornings. If I don't, we get up and I'm like, oh crap, we don't have coffee. I'm not good.
Just starts the day off wrong.
It does. It starts the day off wrong. But now I'm like, I gotta have my coffee in the morning. Get me going.
I'm full on addicted. I promise. It's a problem.
Do you listen to podcasts?
Yeah, I listen to a few. There's an insurance guys podcast. They're out of Alabama. They're two agents. They have a really good podcast. I'll listen to. There's a golfing podcast. What's that kind of name? I think his name is Matt Adams.
Yeah,
he has one, and then there's a couple others. I'll listen to some hunting podcasts just to kind of, pass the time and get some new information.
I think there's one called Breaking 80, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's the name of it. It's a pretty good golf podcast. Okay. Which somebody told me a statistic that you've got a better chance of hitting the lottery than you do breaking 80 in the game of golf.
I would say so.
I mean, certainly for me. I know. I guess if you think about the number of people that play golf that can't break 80, you may be right. I don't know.
Yeah. I've gotten to where now I just go. When I was younger, I used to get up, like, man, I can't hit a good shot. Now I'll just go out there and play. If I play bad, I'll just keep going.
My favorite kind of golf is just not to keep score. Just go hit the ball, play, have a good time. Yep, that's where it's at. Should have asked you this earlier. Your agency, you guys involved in any community groups and things?
I'm getting involved in some right now. I'm trying to get involved in the Chamber of Commerce. Yeah. And, just kind of getting involved in it to spread my name out there, but not right now. I'm trying to get more involved as my agency's growing.
You guys, you on social media, do any of that?
Yeah, I do, Facebook. I should do more with it, advertising wise. It's just, harder to get the time to do it. And then I'm on Instagram. So I'm just trying to get more involved in doing the advertisement, just try to get my name out there and grow business.
Well, when you're fourth generation anything, as I know from my partner here, the advertising kind of does itself. So I'm sure you're doing okay with it.
It's not bad. I mean, because like I said, that was kind of the reason I got back in insurance, because I had so many people I knew. They're like, we miss your dad. He always took care of us. Why don't you do it? And I was like, oh man, I'm never going to get back involved in it. But then it just got to the point where I was like, you know what? I enjoyed it. I missed it. So I'm like, if I can get back involved in it and help people in the community out to, have an insurance agent they can trust. I'm not saying they can't, because I know I've got plenty of friends that are good agents that take care of their customers. There's some that just don't care. Yeah. They just want that commission coming in every month and, move on down the road.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming and talking to us about it. I mean, insurance everybody needs it. Not everybody uses it. And I don't think everybody understands it. So you shed some good light on a bunch of different topics today. I really appreciate that.
Well, I thank y'all for letting me come, and I've enjoyed it.
Yeah. You got anything else?
No, just tell us tell everybody where they can find you.
My office is at 200 Eagles S Drive in Canton. I'm about 3 miles east of Canton Marketplace. So if you need anything, look me up. I'm on Google Business, and my number is 770-608-9550.
And it's Garrison Insurance Agency.
That's right.
Okay. We'll go. And Facebook, Instagram?
And Facebook and Instagram.
Garrison Insurance there too?
Garrison Insurance, yep.
Okay, fantastic. Well, y'all go give him a shout. Hopefully he can help you find you a good policy, get you protected. That way you don't have to hear from us one day. If you need us, though, you look us up on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Bettis Musgrove. Get us at bettismusgrove.com and find the podcast anywhere you listen to your podcast. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy. God bless.